Hi folks, John Cordisco back again. Wow, wow, wow. Hell of a game here, folks. Hell of a game. Round 2 of Norway Chess 2015. One leg in the three-leg Grand Chess Tour. This tournament here in Norway. The Singfield Cup here in the United States. And the London Chess Classic, of course, in London, England. This is one step in that, Norway Chess. As white, soon-to-be American Federation player Fabiano Caruana, and black, someone that needs no introduction, the chess world current world champion Magnus Carlsen from Norway. Now, we're playing in Norway, so he's got Norwegian television there, all the reporters. Chess is just incredible, huge popularity in Norway, of course, with the young world champion. He lost round 1. When he flagged, he lost on time. He got the time controls mixed up in his head. Thought there was more time after move 60. Anyway, enough of my yakking. Let's get to it. Caruana is white. Carlsen is black. Gonna be your Berlin, but please don't roll your eyes. This is a very interesting game. You pretty much know all this a million times over. Pawn, h6. This is all Vladimir Kramnik's fault, by the way. All these Berlins now, since he popularized it so many years ago. He told Nigel Short, Kramnik did, that with his Berlin, he's hoping to stop all world-class players from playing e4. He's damn near succeeding. King e8. This is pretty much all buck. Interesting, though, this knight. You're going to see how many times he moves, and it's a ton. Kind of reminds me of the Grishuk game, where I think he moved the knight 9 times against Geary. Bishop, rook. Let's go through here. Knight to d5. According to the computer, that's the last book move. Half-point advantage for white. Nothing really spectacular. This is part of the game where I usually go wrong. And what I mean by go wrong, I mean, how do you formulate a plan? That's my biggest problem in my chess, is formulating a plan. Of course, you have to go c4 because the pawn here would have been in pre. Plus, you want to kick the knight. Knight has to move again. Knight to f4. Now, those knights are in 2 really good spots there for white. Only shows less than a half pawn advantage for white, but I like white right here. Even though I do have to say, that's the thing with a Berlin. Black looks like he's on his heels, but you never know with a Berlin. But I think Fabiano Caruana is really, really well prepared in this game. Rook g8. That's just like a very good move, but there's a good reason for that. You're going to see. It's the protection of the g-pawn. Also, you might want to push it later. Plus, those 2 knights are standing in the middle of the board. You never know where they're going to end up. Computer likes bishop c5, bishop e7, and rook g8, but they're all close in score. You can't fault Magnus for that. Who could? Right now, he's the best player in the world. g4, g5 and bishop e7, a6. Magnus decides to move the knight again. That's like the 7th or odd time. Now, this is the problem. Vladimir Kramnik once said, chess is a game of tempos. It would be like, say you're playing a game and you allow your opponent to move 2 moves in a row. That's tough. When you move a piece around that much, that means you're floundering. Your opening didn't go even close as you wanted it to go. That knight's in an awkward spot. It's just a lot of wasted time. In chess, you can't waste time. Knight f5, here he comes. Knight, rook takes. Now that move there, I was a little surprised. I really have left attention, maybe king g2. His computer suggests bishop a3. I actually like pretty good. He decided to take it. King takes, rook checks. It's human. You want to own the file, which he does, forcing the king back to c8. But what he did, this king was here. Now the king is taking care of the pawns here in this position. It's a lot safer for black. Anyway, it's the illusion of safety. Bishop a3. And this is where I think Magnus miscues. Knight e6. Shows about a point advantage, but give you an idea. Look at this scenario here. Knight takes. What does black do here? You can't take with a pawn, because then bishop comes here. Can't play pawn takes knight because rook mates. You're forced to take with a knight, or excuse me, bishop, and knight comes here and wins the exchange. Magnus screwed up. Now he has to take, bishop takes a3. Now he loses that pawn. Now, even for players like Carlsen, knowing that you messed up, he's down a pawn. Not the end of Western civilization, but psychologically, it hurts, even for somebody like Carlsen, who is arguably right now the best player in the world, maybe not even arguably. And psychologically, it hurts. What to do, what to do. Now he's on the edge of a knife. And there's some threats here. This knight can't move, because once bishop takes, can't take, whoops, can't take, because of the rook. So it's not exactly harmless, but psychologically I think he's having a hard time. e6. When you get pawns that far down the board, it gets scary. What to do, what to do. He can't play f takes e6. And after knight takes e6, he's just doomed. Plays bishop takes, knight takes, pawn takes, knight g3. We're back even material, but look at this advantage. We've got isolated pawns here and here. Got three connected passers right here. He's good to go. It's going to be tough. This is a position that Magnus is uncomfortable with it. I'll tell you what I mean by that. He's usually the one that's on the giving end of grinding you down. Now he's going to get ground down. And by Fabiano Caruana, which is no slouch. World-class player. Very strong player. And it's uncomfortable. When you're the grinder and you're starting to get ground, the feeling is horrible. Especially after the first round where he lost on time, when he thought there was more time on his clock than there was. e7, bishop, king comes up, here comes the king, you're going to need him. Rook f8. You notice how that rook on d1 is cutting off the black king. Rook d3, rook f7, we're just going to go through a few moves here. Now, rook to f3 I liked a little bit. Knight to h5, I like that because it holds a lot of key squares. Here, here, and here. Those are very key squares. That knight can't be touched by the bishop because he's on a light square. So that's a good spot. Bishop d6. Rook f3. He's looking to exchange. Of course, Magnus can't. If he had taken the rook after king takes, king d7, and this is just misery for Magnus. After rook h7, rook to e3. Rook, I mean, there's not much he can do but shuffle his pieces. He's basically helpless. That's a horrible feeling, especially for Carlsen. Pawn comes up, bishop a3, king f3, bishop, try to get the bishop in play, rook e2, bishop goes to c3, g5, here it comes. He's got to bring the king up. King g4, just patience, patience, just grinding him. Rook e8. Knight g3. He wants to go f5 next. Rook h8. Bishop h8 doesn't really do much because after knight e4, king, knight c5, and it's over for black. After rook h8, h4, just slowly grinding them down. c5, g6, here it comes. It's finally turning the screws. Rook e8, f5. Pawn takes. Now he doesn't take. Plays king f4. I think king takes f5 is acceptable, but he decided to just move the king. And this is where Magnus, I think, miscues. I think he's so disgusted. He plays rook h8. Should have played rook takes, knight takes, bishop b2. It's still horrible. Absolutely horrible for black. But after rook h8, knight takes, bishop, and rook to g2. And what's he going to do? It's over. So that's where Magnus Carlsen, current world champion, resigned. 0-2 for the first 2 rounds. The first round he lost when he flagged. And this one, he just simply got outplayed. And Fabiano played a good game. Hats off to Fabiano Caruana. So there it is. The game of the day from round 2. Norway Chess 2015. I hope you enjoyed it. I want you all to remember, if you think chess is just a game, you're not playing it right. And I want to thank all my new subscribers. I've gotten quite a few in the last few months. Thank you very, very much. It's very kind of you. I appreciate it. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.